about fit. Here's where finishing number one doesn't necessarily help you. Getting drafted as a quarterback. J.J. McCarthy was the 5th quarterback taken, and Bo Nix was the 6th. Yet they got Kevin O'Connell, and they got Sean Payton. Lamar Jackson, last quarterback, first round, last player actually, went to the Ravens. Patrick Mahomes, the 10th pick, went to the stable Chiefs. Josh Allen, 3rd quarterback taken. Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, fell in the first round. One got Don Shula, Super Bowl 2nd year. The other one got, the Packers. I don't know how good J.J. McCarthy is. I don't know how good Bo Nix is. But I suspect they're both going to win their division a lot. And over the course of 15 years, they're going to win a bunch of games. Because I think Kevin O'Connell is the best young offensive coach in football. I know Sean McVay, yeah, but I mean, I don't even consider Sean McVay young anymore, right? Like, he's a veteran head coach. And that's a lot of it. There are a lot of bad coaching staffs in this league. And even when you get a coach that's not bad, pretty good, Mike Tomlin, it doesn't mean he has any understanding or any sensibility on how to help a young quarterback. If you go look at Jared Goff's entire career, it is tied to how good his coach is. And the Minnesota Vikings, my wife used to live and work in Minnesota, not a big sports fan. And we were talking about Minnesota beating the Bears because we now live in Chicago. And she said, well, the Vikings are always good, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's right. The Vikings are always good. They always have good owners. They always have a good front office, a good general manager, a solid coach. I mean, Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins both finished top 10 in offense. I mean, Sam Darnold's career was over. And all of a sudden, he's MVP talk. I don't think that would have happened. Didn't happen in Carolina. Didn't happen to the Jets. So this idea, our society is you've got to finish number one. Where do you fit best? I don't care if it's a high school choice, which a lot of times you don't have options, but when it's a college choice, the Ivy League isn't for everybody. Big state schools, Texas, they're not for everybody. Some kids need more tutoring, smaller schools. Some kids may need vocational schools, a junior college, whatever it takes. But I look at Bo Nix. Bo Nix in September, I looked this up this morning. In September in his career, 2 touchdowns, 6 picks. Yet Bo Nix has a winning record in September. That's called organizational support and coaching support. He's been bad in September, and he has a winning record in the AFC in a division with Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. You're not doing that with bad coaching. So J.J. McCarthy, Jim Harbaugh to Kevin O'Connell. I'm sorry. A part of his success is that. It's not fair. Baker Mayfield got Cleveland and Hugh Jackson. Mahomes got Andy Reid and the Hunt family. Now, I think Mahomes is better than Baker, and it took Baker a while to prove he could be a franchise guy you could trust. And I do think talent eventually finds its way, but in the NFL, injuries, regulated levels of violence, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get banged up. Drew Brees wanted to be a Miami Dolphin, and they wouldn't let him. And thank God Sean Payton was there.
Yeah. I mean, this is just... I'm watching this, and I'm just like, okay, where is this all leading to? Where are we going with this? And it's just like, is it that Colin is now wrestling with the idea that J.J. McCarthy is actually going to be successful and succeed with the Minnesota Vikings? Because he kept saying, I'm not sold on JJ. I'm not sold. I've never seen anything on JJ. I don't think he's that good. And now he's like, hey, JJ with the Minnesota Vikings, they're gonna win they're gonna win the division a lot of years. And it's like, well, wait a second. Like, what's happening here right now? I mean, situation always matters. It always matters. Like, it's kind of crazy to me how frequently and how regularly we talk about this. And I think it is probably because there is such resistance to it from fans that coaching is really, really, really important. No matter how great of a quarterback you are. Now, I think what's interesting is that if you're a great quarterback, it's almost impossible, if not completely impossible, to truly reach your maximum potential without a great coaching staff around you, without a great team even. around you. You can have awesome moments, right? Like if Lamar Jackson was on an awful team, we would still see some of those moments where he's scrambling and you're just like, how did he just get away from that, right? But would he be able to consistently and reliably win, get to the playoff? No. And that's the same thing for Josh Allen, Mahomes, Brady, obviously completely different skill sets, et cetera, et cetera. But what's interesting though is that no matter how great the coaching staff is, if you can't ball, you can't ball. If you can't play, you can't play. You can have moments, you can have stretches. A great coach can get a backup quarterback into the playoffs occasionally, not every year, not year after year after year, but they can find ways. They can smooth out the edges. And if you're a great quarterback going through a rough stretch, or you get off to a slow start, or whatever it is, kind of like Colin pointed out with Bo Nix and the Broncos, like they can make you not suffer the consequences as deeply, right? They can find themselves. They can find their ways to still win the game. Let's take the Vikings game. The Vikings absolutely, positively, 1,000% should have lost that game. That game should not have still been in the balance. But fortunate that the quarterback was not on one on the other side of the field with Caleb Williams. And the coaching for the Minnesota Vikings was able to navigate it through. They were able to eventually find their way through it. Kevin O'Connell's play calling was lights out. And then they were finally able to put J.J. McCarthy into a situation where he could succeed, where it didn't just completely unravel. And it's not hard to imagine that another coaching staff does not allow that to happen. Look at what happened with the Tennessee Titans. I mean, if you actually watch Cam Ward, just look at just his actual highlights. Like, he was throwing balls all over. I mean, like he was looking, actually, he had moments where he was like, where you were like, whoa, that is nice. But they could not execute at all. And it could have been a big game winner for them, not unlike what happened with the Minnesota Vikings. But the execution, the preparation, the play calling, like it was not good. It was not properly executed. So boom, he gets a loss. JJ gets a win. And so these things always matter. And it is interesting. I am excited for this Sunday night game because I think the Falcons are actually pretty good, but I definitely believe in the Minnesota Vikings roster way more and the coaching staff way more. But Penix is actually, I think he's going to be a really, really, really great quarterback in the NFL. But it's going to be interesting because I think we'll potentially continue to see coaching on full display. And I think when people become, and I noticed this with JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy also has a pretty strong fan base. They want the quarterback to get like all the credit, no matter like what happens. And fortunately for the Vikings, they've had like that fan base. They've had Kevin O'Connell now for a bit. And so they truly know and understand the importance of Kevin O'Connell and just how great of a coach he is and how that will work with a JJ McCarthy. And someone said something really interesting to me, and I 100% agree with this. Said in the comment section, they were like, people are forgetting just how young JJ McCarthy is. Imagine him with Kevin O'Connell for the next like 3-4 years. And that's the thing that I talk about a lot, that like these quarterbacks need to be developed, that it's not like just them going through puberty where they just grow to be 6'3" no matter what they do, or they 1 minute they don't have to shave, the next minute, oh look, now I have to shave. And it's like, that's not the way it works. You don't just magically reach your potential. You have to be developed. You have to be coached. And in order to truly reach that potential, you need an awesome coach to not only help you become a better football player, but then also to consistently put you and reliably in positions to succeed and to navigate the ups and downs of a career, of a game, of a season. And I've always pushed back on this idea because Colin will sometimes say like, oh, when you're an older quarterback, or if you've been in a lot of high level programs, like in college, if you played like a bunch of seasons with a great coach, name any coach you want in college, and he's like, like these guys are ready to go, and it's like, no, Harbaugh's great, and then maybe JJ's high school coach was awesome, and whatever. It's not Kevin O'Connell. It's not Kevin O'Connell. He's going to learn more with Kevin O'Connell in the next year than he's learned throughout his entire career playing football from day one, from the moment he picked up a football. And so now when you actually have that for years, the development, the ability to grow and evolve will be through the roof. So I'm just, I'm patient on this one. I'm still expecting JJ to have plenty of struggles throughout the season, plenty of issues. But again, even in a game when he clearly struggled, when it was clearly just not happening, they were still able to find their way to a win. And that was what I was saying all off season, where it was just like, if you think about it, JJ McCarthy, like, he doesn't need to be amazing. They'll still find ways to be able to win, as long as he doesn't consistently and reliably, as long as he's not consistently getting sacked and consistently throwing pick sixes like game after game after game, because then that becomes, a bridge too far, a little bit too hard to overcome. As long as he's just, he's good, he's okay, you're gonna find your ways to win. You're gonna find your ways to wins. And let alone when you're actually are playing really well and really good, well, then this team is obviously great enough where it's just like, you're definitely going to come away with some wins here. So I think the Falcons will be another interesting matchup. Right now, when you're looking at this schedule right now, you have to say that it's pretty favorable actually right now, being able to take on the Bears, where Caleb Williams is clearly just not ready yet. So that's good to have him week 1. And then now week 2, you have the Atlanta Falcons, who, at home, they just lost a tough home game. Their Vikings are favored 4.5. I mean, like, the Vikings are totally in a situation now to go 2-0. And then who knows what happens with the Packers and the Commanders. So the Vikings are very much in a position to get off to a really strong, solid start. Win on the road, division rival, win at home, Falcons. But we will see. I don't know if the Falcons game is going to be, this just walk in the park necessarily, because I think it was a little hard to gauge how good the Falcons are in this moment of time, because they executed pretty poorly against the Bucs. But that was a divisional game. They should have beat the Bucs, I believe. It's hard to know how good the Bucs were. Like, it was just like it was a little bit of a sloppy game. So I don't have a strong feeling in terms of where the Falcons are right now in this moment of time, because I think the Falcons should be pretty good. But you have to kind of wait and see how that pans out. So I think it's going to be an interesting discovery game for me, watching both the Falcons and the Vikings play each other. I think it's going to be, it's now week 2. Have some actual football underneath you a little bit. So, but of course, like I said, the Vikings are at home, so that obviously will bode well for them big time. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Minnesota Vikings, JJ McCarthy being in the perfect position to succeed in the NFL? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.